afternoon. Welcome back to another new edition of Windows on Current Affairs. And today we talk about a very important decision and a directive by His Excellency, the Head of State, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. He has directed and stated that year 2023 is going to be the year for the Arab youth in general, to give them opportunity and open venues for them to exchange views, discussions, and exchange visions, and as usual to have complete freedom of speech and represent themselves towards expressing their views for the future. And today we talk about that very important decision by the president, and also we take a look about the status of Egyptian youth inside Egypt and the different activities that people are very busy nowadays looking forward towards COP27, towards the national dialogue, and towards many activities, national activities that are worth discussion in this edition of Windows on Current Affairs. We're very delighted to be having with us our very dear guest, Mr. Mohamed Salah. He's member of Board of Directors of Egyptian Youth Organization. Good evening, Mr. Salah.
Good evening, Ms. Dina.
And welcome to Windows on Current Affairs as usual.
Yes.
And let's first talk about that very important decision by the president to be able to give opportunities to all the Arab youth on one negotiating table, not only the Egyptian youth. Now, Egypt is moving on a leap, or not a step, that's a leap. And that's not a limited role by Egypt, not only a leading role, but a leap all over the region and the world to be dominating the scene as usual, through soft diplomacy, by calling for all Egyptian and Arab and Egyptian youth to come to a negotiating table and open discussion, for exchanging views, for expressing what they think and their visions and everything. Talk to us about this initiative by the president, and what are the reasons and the timing and everything behind that call by the president.
Well, let me first express my gratitude and my feelings to be with you and your generous audience in this in the program TV again. And I would like to say about this very important and very crucial subject today, which about the youth and their importance for the society and their importance for our country. I'd like to say that the youth are generally the backbone of the society. I'd like to say that if you have the ability, or if you have the desire to improve your life or to improve your standard of living, if you have or to gain a new ideas or a new decades for the economy in any country, you have to depend on the youth. If you want to keep your social or national security safe from any other threat, you have to depend on your youth to keep this security safe from any other threat. So we have to know that the youth are gaining or are gathering into the dimensions of the time. They are representing present time and the future time. What we are talking about them, or what we are talking with them about today, they will lead in the future. What we are giving them the experience, we are preparing them and empowering them to take their important decisions, or to know how to take important decisions in Egypt. You are preparing them to do this thing or the same thing in the future. And we have not to forget that today's leader were yesterday's youth. So from this perspective, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, from his early beginning in Egypt, he has a strong belief on the Egyptian youth. And he is concentrating on how to empower them, how to give them the chance to express their service, how to express their service, and how to improve their skills, their talents, their attitude. We have done a great and a very great ideas and a very great steps towards renewing all items or all ways of life in Egypt. And this is because of the youth. We are targeting youth by all of these changes in all systems in Egypt. If you speak about health system, if you speak about educational systems, if you speak about housing programs, national housing programs, and national projects expanding in the desert, in a new capital city, and other cities and other farms and other projects and other complexes that are being opened these days. The target of this is using or making the best use of our youth in order to achieve our national sufficient. We have to know that we have to know that we don't have any other chance to improve this or to reach this idea from economy without using our youth in order to achieve this. This is a strong belief in to President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. So we have to know that our youth in a great need and in a continuous need to improve their needs. We have to keep going on 4 dimensions. The first dimension, we have to use them or to prepare to them. We have to plan in a frank way how to prove them or to provide them with their needs in the future. Number 2, regarding the education. And we already said that we have transformed from traditional education to the new model of education or the new project of education, which is held by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and exempted by Mr. Tariq Shawi in Minister of Education. Because of we have to enroll our youth with the basic skills and the basic talents that are used or are wanted in the future in the markets around the world, not only in Egypt. We have to fill the gap between the local market in education and with the international market. We have to make the best use of the HR or the human resources here in Egypt. We have to enforce their capabilities in order to enforce our national capabilities. Number 3, which is about awareness. We are working a lot in the awareness by expanding in providing the Egyptian youth with many institutions that are targeting the youth in order to make them have strong knowledge about the real or the deep or the root reasons of our problems. They have to know this in order to save our national security from one side, from the other side, in order to solve these problems in the future. We are not talking only about giving them knowledge only. No, they have to go to the awareness, the level of awareness, to go to the root cases or the root reasons for any problem happened in Egypt. So we have a National Academy for Youth, National Academy for Training, which is supervising now the national dialogue between the Egyptian parties. It's already an institution that or organization that was enabled or was founded to serve the youth and to help them and to listen to them and give them the ability to lead. How to lead in a correct way, how to understand your problems, how to add more values to your society and your country in order to solve your own problems. The third important thing for our youth is, I think, in the extra courses. What I mean about extra courses is providing them with the scientific and academic knowledge that they hadn't got in the education system or in the old education or in the traditional educations. We have to concentrate also in acquiring them skills about using ICTs. We have to learn them how to speak one or more languages in order to make a connection and a strong connection with the outside world. You won't be able to make this connection without ICT in the age of the internet and the information technology revolution. We won't be able to do this dialogue without having these ideas. So these four key steps has been held by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi in the past 5 years or 6 years, because of his strong belief about the role and the capabilities of our national and Egyptian youth.
That's true. Talking about the Arab youth, they have a new role now. It's not only Egyptian and African, but the Arab as well. Different Arab countries are now involved in the scene with their problems, with their challenges, with their aspirations, each with his own situation, because they come from different cultures, they come from different political backgrounds, different cultural backgrounds. That is going to give it a more expanded scene, a more difficult vision for us to be able to bring together under one umbrella, which is the best benefit or the best interest of the Arab world.
Well, I see that this idea of gathering the Arab youth together in one project or or under one umbrella, which will be the national union for the Arab youth, it's a very important step in order to create the future for our youth, for all the Arab youth. First of all, we would like to say that the Arab country is created to integrate with each other. From the Gulf to the Atlantic Ocean, we have some or many countries or many states in this area of the world. It have some challenges now, which is being explained by the following ideas. We have 50 to 60% of the population in all Arab worlds from the youth. This nation is called nation of youth around the world. I think we are from the highest nations in the world that have a youth rate like what's happening in the Arab area. This is the first. The second challenge is the political situation in many Arab states or many Arab countries, which is not stable now because of what's called revolutions of Arab Spring. And they are now suffering a lot from what's happening in many other countries. So we have a problems in the political level. The second, or what is the third problem in this in the Arab for the Arab youth is the diversification of the youth rate between the countries. If you look in depth in these countries, you will find something that we have countries with a high level of youth, and other countries don't have youth like those people. We have a high population or a high number of population like in Egypt, like in Syria, like in Iraq, but we have also other countries do not have the manpower or the manpower like what's happening in Egypt and in Iraq and in Syria. This means that we have to integrate between the markets in Egypt and the markets in Iraq and in Syria and in Gulf area in order to achieve what we are calling producing more working opportunities for them. You have to make this collaboration between these countries in order to achieve this level of integration between the countries. The fourth level, and the important level also, which is the differentiation between systems in the countries. I do not like to say that we have cultural differences. I would like to say that we have different systems of life between the Arab nations. Let me give you an example. Like railway station between Egypt and Sudan. When we tried to unify them into one rule, we found that the systems of railway in Egypt is different, totally different from those in Sudan. This is the reason, and this is the challenge, is that we are living in other or in a mass of living systems that was founded by imperial nations, not by the nations or not by the national regimes here in the Middle East. So we have this challenge we have to cope with, is to unify or to make the systems of all the Arab countries are the same. When we are talking about life systems, we are talking about health, we are talking about economy, we are talking about policy, we are talking about education. All of these systems must be the same. We have to be with each other in order to acquire and in order to have one or qualified youth in all of the world. When if I am in Gulf and I need a youth from Egypt, I will give them to work immediately. I won't help him. I want to help him to teach or to learn from the first, from the early beginning. He will come to produce. He will come to act. He will come to do what's wanted from him. This is the 4 ideas. So, by taking these ideas, I would like, by taking this step by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, I think we are in the right way. We are targeting the right way in the future in order to produce sufficient working opportunities for all the Egyptian youth, in order to save the Arab national security of the region. We have also to say that we will save our neighbors and save our brothers in the Arab countries, as we are that they have said that Egypt is the biggest country in the region. It is what's called the capital of Arab dream in Egypt. So it's a role. It's a role, and it's a responsibility from Egypt towards its Arab countries, or her sisters from the countries, in order to achieve their securities as well.
Right. The decision by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and directives to call for 2023 as a year for the Arab youth, and also, of course, that fortifies the urge for creating a venue of national dialogue and sense of dialogue in general between Arab youth in general and Egyptian one. Let's take a look over the different attempts by His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to empower the youth and enforce them and give them opportunities. And he has also called for establishing the Arab Youth Union. What is the story behind the Arab Youth Union?
The Arab Youth Union, it's a central organization held in Egypt, and it's expected to implement all what we have said before. About uniting, about making our youth, of the Arab youth, together, how to prepare them for the future, how to teach them, how to learn them, how to lead in the future, how to keep up with these challenges. As we have said, we have many challenges in the area. We have challenges regarding the political, or regarding the life systems, or regarding in everything. And at the same time, I would like to link them with the future. We have to be linked to the future from these perspectives in order to have one national team, or have one national vision for the Arab world in the future. It's not a choice, it's a must for the Arab units, Arab countries to be united together. We do not have one country that can live alone without help from other countries. We have strong relations, whether in cultural relations, we have lingual relations, we have a lot of relations between us. And at the same time, historically, from the perspective of religion, from the perspective of culture, we are nearly the same people between many countries. So we have to save our countries and our people from any threat that could give or could come to any country in the future. And this organization is expected to share the knowledge, is expected to do what we are calling uniting the culture, gathering our Arab youth in order to have many cultures inside the Arab youth, not only one culture. You have to be you don't have to be a monocultured person. This will not help you to succeed in the future. The future is in a great need for those who have many cultures, or who can act in many environmental factors, in a different changes, who can interact rapidly to the changes happened around him. So we have to prepare our youth for these ideas in the future. Especially we have four important challenges. The first is governance and what's related to governance, from digitalization, from digital transformation, from the Internet of Things, from artificial intelligence, and all of these new science and all of new technologies should be transformed to or transferred to the Arab youth to cope up with the future. Have another challenge with the sustainability and the role of the environment in the economy, and how the environment affects the economy as well. We have to share this knowledge among the Arab youth. For me in Egypt, I'd like to know that we have radiation of the carbon. It's a very important, and we have to find it. And you have to know that the people in Saudi Arabia or in UAE or in Sudan, in Morocco, in Algeria, they have to know the same information. So in order to make our life better, in order to make our life, the standard of life in Egypt is higher and higher. And this is important for us. The third important program in the future, which is expanding. You have to know that the expenditure in the future it will be also a must. So we have to expand with each other, not only as Egypt alone, not only Saudi Arabia alone, not only with Sudan alone. No, we will expand hand in hand. We'll expand together in the international world. So we have also to prepare to provide them with the techniques and with the rules needs for this expansion. You have to know well about ICT technologies. You have to know well about language. And the last, which is linked to our international markets and knowing how to deal with markets. And all of these ideas should be distributed with one level of knowledge and with one level of ideas to be shared among the Arab youth, in order to solve the problems of life systems and in order to achieve unity, especially economic unity and social unity in the future.
The results of establishing such a foundation here in Egypt, in which the center of it is going to be in Egypt, and establishing a negotiating table, an open venue, a hub for Arab and Egyptian youth to come over here and exchange, or even exchange through different means, views and negotiate different topics, is very fruitful. In what way? How is it going to help? For example, issues like enforcing or helping the job opportunities. For example,
we have
employment, now some opportunities for employment. How is it going to be able to help the youth face the common challenges that they share between countries? There are definitely common challenges between us and other Arab countries. How is it going to be able to help in exchanging experiences, successful experiences? How is it going to help correcting the wrong cultures? How is it going to help to facilitate digitalization, for example? How is it going to help effect different strategies to be able to overcome economic crisis and pandemics? These are all things that could benefit from.
This is other real problems that we are living in the world now. Not only the Arab world, but all around the world are living with the same problems. And these are the challenges of the future. This dialogue could be fruitful from many perspectives or from many ideas. First of all, you will share the knowledge from those who have passed away from this experience. You will tell the others how I dealt with this, how I did this. For example, we have in Egypt a problem in coronavirus. While it was spreading in coronavirus in Egypt, we saw that Egypt is one of the rare countries in the world who is still producing in markets. and we took a lot of instructions in order to still producing while keeping our people safe from this pandemic. So we have to share this knowledge to others. We have also the transformation or digital transformation in Egypt that's happening in Egypt. It should be delivered or shared to other nations such as Tunisia. Tunisia have an idea to build a new capital for Tunisia, and they don't have the ability to how to start doing this. Many other countries in the Arab world don't have the idea of building new capitals for there. So they will ask for Egypt, as we have took this experience, and we'll tell them that the right way is so and so and so, and I have collaborative companies. I have an experts. I have working power. I'm ready to do all what you want in this field. So this is the idea that I say all of the time, is that the real success in the age of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi is having or gaining the knowledge, gaining the capabilities. And the national capabilities now could be exported to other nations. When we have any visit here in Egypt now from any African president or any Arab president, we took them to the capital, to the new capital city, to know or to see with himself how are the Egyptians are doing with housing systems or housing companies in order to achieve what they want. What was the result? Now we have a deal with countries like Congo to build a new capital for Congo in West Africa. We have also now we are carrying out or we are experimenting a dam in Tanzania, Julius Nyerere Dam. So we are exporting our ideas, our experience, our challenges towards to the others. Not only in the housing sector only. We have also in the power sector. We have a very successful experience in the power sector, especially in gas, natural gas. What we have making a deal and the successful deal yesterday with the European Union. This is also a successful experience that should be distributed or should be imported to our brothers in Arab countries. We have also a successful experiments in Algeria about something. Algeria will expert or share the knowledge or export this knowledge to the others. So what I'd like to say is sharing successful experience is a very early beginning to gather or to share this knowledge among all the Arab countries. This will help us to have or to get a huge number of working ideas or working companies outside. Have also
you mean job opportunities?
Job opportunities, yes, working opportunities for the Egyptian youth, as well as they will got the benefit or they got the added value or the value added for their countries, inshallah.
Also, this could be important, and this, I mean, idea or foundation or initiative could be important in other means, like if we are having or preparing our world and working tooth and nail to be able to execute the goals of sustainable development.
Yes.
The 17 goals. It doesn't need only Egypt to be able to sustain the development of the region, but it would need other countries also to join hands with Egypt to be able to execute the goals of sustainable development. What opportunities are lying there for youth in that particular domain?
If we're talking about markets and how to produce more working opportunities for the youth, SDGs is the real implementation of this. You are now moving from traditional economy to a green economy or to SDGs economy. We have also now with rising different types or different types of economies related to sustainable development, which is main idea is to open a new markets for, first of all, that deals with the environmental elements, are caring about the environment, or taking care of it, and giving it the opportunity to do well. We have to give the environment the opportunity to produce another generation to still and to keep here in Egypt. Number two, it will have and also to provide our economy with the real growth rates. We will have also these growth rates depending on the new markets will open. We have a lot of markets such as solar energy, it's a new market. We have talking about renewing water or renewal of water, or reusing water. It's a new market. You have to deal also with ICTs, and we have information technologies, and we have also something is related, which is related to the housing strategies. All of these ideas will, first of all, acquire the needs of the needs and the huge numbers of the working power or the youth in Egypt, and number two will give me a real growth rate in the economy to the national economy. And the last one, which is the social benefits, which will come out from giving a stable life to the Egyptian people in general, giving our families the highest standard of living, highest level of high standards of living, give them prosperity, give them the ability to work and to be able to prepare or to bring a new good and strong citizens in Egypt. These are all related to SDGs. It's not only a matter of keeping health or keeping environmental health only. No, this is not what we are looking for. You have to look at it from three related perspectives: environmental and economic and social as well. And from gathering these three dimensions, we will have the ideas or the good ideas or the value added for all of the stakeholders in this cycle.
President Abdel Fattah Sisi have always possessed an expanded vision for the far future, and he has given us former examples of that through different initiatives. Talking about this initiative or this call for the Union for Arab Youth and year 2023 to be dedicated for the Arab youth to negotiate and come together under one slogan and different common topics. This could also hold importance regarding in the sense of different countries like Iraq, like Syria, like Libya, like Lebanon. Those countries are suffering from real conflicts. They have political conflicts that have devastated the popularity there, the population there, and that have caused displacement inside Iraq and in Syria and Libya of people, and have devastated the infrastructure and everything, and economic crisis in Lebanon and all that. So how is that call or initiative and that union going to be able to sort out or root out these problems, like in Libya, for example, through dialogue, through sustainable development, through exchanging excellent expertise, following the footsteps of the very successful experience of Egypt in our national security, stretching our hands to our dear brothers here and there in the Arab countries. Do you think that that particular initiative or call going to root out help seriously or to some extent in rooting out the problems, conflicts in other countries, Arab countries?
I'm sure from that. Let me say that as I told you in the very beginning of this of our talk, I said that we are in Egypt. The Egyptian president is really is expected to take responsibility over all the Arab countries. So we are concerned with any struggle or with any actions are coming or are taking place in any Arab countries. We're in Lebanon, we're in Iraq, we're in Sudan, we're in Libya, in any other country. And if you get back to the Arab-Saudian summit happened after the crisis of Russian-Ukrainian war, you will find that Egypt and Saudi Arabia was not talking about themselves. They were talking about the whole region. They are talking about all the Arab nations and all the Arab countries, not only about Egypt and Saudi only. So it's a characteristic of any Egyptian president to do this. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, from his talks with any other international partner or international friend, he is not talking about Egypt only. He is calling for giving the Arabs and giving the Arab nations and the Arab countries the ability to rebuild itself. How they will rebuild themselves? They will rebuild themselves by raising the hands of the foreigners from all the Arab countries. All the foreigners have to raise their hands and give the people the opportunity to build their life or to build their countries. When you say that here in Egypt we have different types of Yemenians or Lebanon or Iraq, they are living together in Egypt here. I haven't found any problem between them. So why are they fighting? They are fighting in their countries. Why are they fighting each other's away? When you meet them in Egypt or in Europe, you will find that they don't have bad feelings with each others. These people have to learn, need to take the right way, need Egypt to take them to the right way, how to stay with each other, how to manage our differences. I'm sure we are not only the same. We are not only the same copy, and all of us has his own characteristics, has his own thoughts, has his own importance. But I have to accept you. I have to cooperate with you in order to solve these problems. So the Arab nations and the Arab people are in a strong need for Egypt for this. And as if you take a look in Libya, Egypt have played a very important role in Libya and in gathering the Libyans and putting them together in order to this. But after making our decisions and after we succeed in any problem, you see that the international superpower or the international what we are calling big countries or superpower countries come and make the struggle again. So Egypt is calling to them to raise their hands from the Arab countries, leave the people in the Arab area to live with each other. They will reach a solution. They will reach a compromise. They will have a solution. But insisting on firing or on giving more fire on this area will not help will not be on the sake or the right decision for any part or any stakeholders of those, whether they are a superpower, whether they have a regional power, whether they have the country itself.
Right. On that note, Mr. Mohamed Salah, member of Board of Directors of Egyptian Society Egyptian Youth Organization, we'd like to thank you so much and wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you, Dina. I'm happy to be with you today.
My pleasure. And I guess this would bring us to the end of this edition of Windows and Current Affairs. Many thanks to all of you. Until we see you again next week, that's a goodbye.